Hello everyone, welcome to the Geoecologist. I am Dr. Krishnanand and you have been watching my videos on climatology. So in this session on climatology, we are going to talk about local winds, their various names, their characteristics, and importantly how to actually memorize or learn these winds' name and their locations. So we are going to discuss all in this session, but before we go ahead, please don't forget to subscribe to our channel and please share the videos with others as well. So now, after we have already learnt about the planetary winds or the primary winds and secondary winds, now it's time to understand the third scale, that is the tertiary winds. So remember primary, secondary and tertiary. So this is a very standard kind of classification where scale is important, right? So planetary level, regional level, and then we have a local level. So that is why tertiary winds are also called what? They are called local winds. And this is the thing that we need to remember, that now at a local scale we are talking from a planetary scale. So I'll again take you back to the first lecture of climatology, where to understand climatological phenomena right from the planetary scale to the local scale, local phenomena. It is actually important. And why it is important? Because the entire climatic circulation or the climatic phenomena on the earth is actually integrated. So local impacts region, region impacts the planet or the synoptic scale and then the planetary scale that we say. So that is important to understand, that there is a scale fluctuation. So even if we see that climate is changing as a micro level, these micro levels become a local, and this local actually starts becoming regional, and then it covers the synoptic and then the planetary. So this is the flow of scale that we talk. So when we have learned about these wind systems right from the previous lecture to this one, what we see is this primary, secondary and tertiary. This is basically talking about the same factor, that is how these winds flow at different scales. So local winds are the last of these three that we need to study. So what are these local winds? What are its characteristics at different parts of the world, and what are its peculiar names? And very interestingly, these local names have been part of several examinations right from UPSC to state services to UGC NET exams and various other competitive exams as well. So that is why local winds become one of the most interesting as well as most important parts of the wind system that we are studying. So let's understand it further more. So when we talk about these local differences, now remember differences of the major parameters of the climatology, that is the temperature and pressure. So remember, local temperature and pressure fluctuation keeps happening on the earth's surface, and that is the major reason for the production of these winds, right? So if there is a temperature change because of a local topography, or if there is a pressure change because of the insolation factor during daytime, nighttime and other anomalies in the atmosphere, then what happens? There is a local wind circulation across these local pressure belts that are created at a local level. So what happens? Such winds are local in extent, that is at a scale, when we say that at the lowest scale that we know, and are confined to lowest levels of the troposphere. It means they are also not very grown in height or altitude. They are restricted to the lower level of troposphere only. So what you observe here is this particular flow diagram. So what you can do is also pause the video here for your convenience, and you can draw this sketch for yourself to understand it in this particular flow. And this is what we see is the periodical and non-periodical types of these local winds. Now here local winds have been divided into two types. A periodical winds that we already studied in periodic winds or secondary level, because it varies from a local to a regional scale. So what you see is land breeze and sea breeze, or mountain and valley. These are particular regions, coastal regions or mountain and valley regions. So that is what is a periodical nature, but they can also be sometimes categorized as local winds only, because even remember, if we say Himalayan region, a region is also in terms of Himalayan region, but it is also part of one of the major physical divisions of India. If we talk India as a whole, it is one locality of India. So in that way, if you see comparative scales, this is also a periodical wind. Now some places you see this flow diagrams made like that local winds have two parts, one is periodical as well. But we have discussed periodical winds or periodic winds separately under the secondary winds only. So where land breeze and sea breeze was discussed and mountain and valley breeze was also discussed. So largely what we see, we cut this from here and we come this side. Now what you see is these local winds which are non-periodical. right? So what are these non-periodical winds? Now let's understand this in detail, that why are they important and what are their characteristics. So what you see, non-periodical winds, which doesn't come with periodicity. Okay, so what are this? Like hot wind or cold wind, right? These are major two winds. So they are not periodic in nature, rather they are dependent upon temperature and pressure of that particular local. So that is important here. So for some names you can see here, Chinook, Fawn, Santa Ana, Mistral, Norther. So cold winds like Mistral and Norther, and hot winds like Chinook, Fawn and Santa Ana. These are some of the examples. Now let's elaborate further with the world maps and different contextual maps, and let's understand what kind of wind is there, what is its characteristic, and where is it located. So remember, location is very much important with the local name as well. So you have to prepare it on a world map or on a regional map or on a continental or a particular country's map, but local names would be important and its location would be important. That's where location and direction are most importantly in terms of mapping. So let's understand furthermore. So when you see this particular map, this is a very common map available on any internet source. So you can look into this map and you can draw it for yourself for your practice. You see this particular belt of North America. What you see? There is a Chinook here. Direction is from west to east. There is a Norther here. Direction is from north to south. Right? Then you have a Norte here in the southern part near Mexico part. What you see here is this particular location, and what you see, this is again north to south. Then what you see here is nor'easter or blizzards, that is coming from the north, so they are cold, and this is what you see here, right? So directions and name on the map. What you see here is Pampero. So what is this? Is coming from the other side of equator. So similarly, you have this zone here of equator. So what you see, this wind is now pulled towards this side, and this is largely part of the major belt, and now in that major belt you have a minor locale where you have a Pampero. Then what you see is coming to the Europe part. What you have, several winds names here. Helm is there, Mistral is there, Bora is there. Then you have this particular Station, Levant, Fawn, and you see all of their directions are fairly given here. Then what you have is just below that, the southern part across Mediterranean, and what you see, this is Sirocco generating in Sahara. Then you have Khamsin, then you have Harmattan, then you have Habub, which is non-directional, which is kind of a localized here. Then you have a Berg here in the southern part of Africa, right? Then go to the Indian part and Asian part, and the northern part of Asia, you have Buran, you have Kaka Burun. In India, you have these Lu, you have Kal Baisakhi, you have mango showers, right, which is not there in this map. We are going to discuss it later. Then you have in Australia, you have Brickfielder, you have Southerly. So these are numerous names with their fairly location and direction that is important. So that is what you need to practice on a world map. Along with the name, don't forget their location and their relative directions. From which direction, north to south or east to west or northeast to southwest, how is their direction there in that particular location. So this is where a question can come up. So what I have done for you is I have made a table here where you have names of these winds. Then you have a nature of these winds. Many people also tend to forget that is it hot or is it cold. So you see I have also done this hot and dry thing here, that which is hot, which is cold, and also where are they located, along with these regional maps and world maps as well. So what you can do is you can pause the video, you can make a particular world map, or you can note it down. Although this information is very commonly available anywhere, if you type local winds and their names in the world, you'll find a list of things on the web itself. So you can see here, Chinook are also called snow eaters. And remember, when it is eating snow, it must be hot. So it is hot dry. Where is it? The Rocky Mountains. And where is it? You see here. Remember, this is how you need to remember. I'm just giving you a way to remember, a way to practice on map basically. So you have Fawn, it is hot and dry. Where is it located? Alps. So where is Fawn? Here, right? This is how you study. Then Khamsin, hot and dry, Egypt. So where is this? Look here, right? Then you have Sirocco, which is hot and moist, Sahara to Mediterranean. So Sirocco is going from Sahara Desert to the Mediterranean, right? Then you have Solano, then you have Harmattan, Bora, Mistral, and their characteristic is here, nature is here, and their location is here. So this is what you have to practice, and that is how you can remember it as well. So that is important here. Furthermore, we have another list. What you see is the Africa and the Asia part. So you have different names like Punas, Blizzard, Purga, Levanter, Nor'wester, Santa Ana, Karaburun, Kalima, Elephanta, and their nature is given. These are all cold winds when you see till this levanter, right? And location, if you see, these are the locations: Andes Mountain, tundra, Russia, Spain. And then you have fairly hot winds, that is dusty and hot winds, that is New Zealand, South California, Central Asia, Kalima, again dust-laden dry wind, right, in Saharan region. And then India, we have Elephanta, which is moisture-laden wind in monsoon, basically. That is where it comes to this Malabar coast. So that is important. Now, one by one, let's also discuss some local winds in context to their importance. So what you see is, this is the map of India. And in India, the most famous wind in the summer, that is local wind, is this Lu factor. When you have extreme heat, that is about 45 degrees almost, or about close to 50 degrees. So what happens, this northern belt of land is actually burning, right? So what is happening in northern India? Acute low pressure system is being created here, and that is where the wind is important pre-monsoon. Remember, this is a situation before the advent of monsoon. And that is fairly, what we see is that it also triggers the coming of monsoon because it is so extreme low, right? So this is the time pre-monsoon when it blows, usually where May and June time, that is just before the advent of monsoon, especially in the afternoons when it is the maximum heating condition and people get sunstrokes in this. So what are the major names here? Let's understand. One is the famous one that we already know is by the name of Lu, right? L-O-O. Then what you have here is mango shower, that is pre-monsoon shower bringing winds. And then you have blossom shower. So what you see, this is almost near Karnataka coast and this is on the Kerala coast. Then you have in the Bengal part, you have Kal Baisakhi. And then in Assam and further northeastern belt, you have Bardoli. And then you have Chirha. So that is important here. So what are the names? Lu, Bardoli, Chirha, Kal Baisakhi, Mango Shower and Blossom Shower. Now why I say this is important to map as well with location is this kind of map. Because if I say now arrange the winds given in north to south and I just give you these names. So how will you figure out? So then you can see which is the northernmost, then which is there, then which is there. So in that kind of location, what you see. So if you see Bardoli and Chirha, this is here. Then you have a Lu belt, then you have a Kal Baisakhi belt, largely in the same belt. Then you have Mango Shower, and the southern part is the Blossom Shower. So that is the important part, which is part of the local rhythm of season in India. And Lu is largely considered very harmful because many people get sunstroke. That is the reason. Now let's talk about a European wind, which is also known as Foehn. That is important. And where is it? Just see, coming from Mediterranean towards the interior of Europe. So Foehn is a hot winds of local importance in Alps especially. And it is strong, gusty, dry and warm wind. That is important, which develops over on the leeward side. So that is dry, right? And it is also called katabatic wind. So like this particular wind, we say snow eater, like Chinook, this is also like a snow eater because it is also of same nature, right? So the temperature of the wind varies between 15 degree to 20 degree, and it helps in what way? It is a beneficial wind for the mountaineers or the highlanders of Europe. Why? Because it helps in melting of snow and releasing of these seasonal grasses, and which is important for these animal grazers or the herders that we say. That is important. Why? Because of this melting of snow, it helps or it aids in the ripening of the grapes as well. So this entire grape region of Europe, remember the wine production, that is also important here. So this is one thing that is of economic importance. That's why it is also called beneficial wind in one way. Now let's go to the original snow eater, that is Chinook. This is also of the same nature. Remember, this is a beneficial wind. Why? Because like Foehn winds in the Europe, it is in the US and Canada belt where the wind moves down the west slopes of the Rockies. And what happens? This is beneficial again because it helps the melting of all the snow, and it is beneficial to ranchers because of this melting of snow. They can go there for grazing of grasses, and this is a high grassland area during such time. So that is important here, that it melts down the winter snow. Now let's take another example. Now you have a Mistral, which is a harmful wind again, like Lu. So Mistral is where you see this particular location. This is coming from interior of the continent to the towards the Mediterranean. This is called Mistral. What you see, Mistral is one of the local names given to such winds that blow from Alps over France towards the Mediterranean Sea. So it is coming from the Alps, so it is bringing in very cold, misty winds, and that is where it is harmful for people. So it is channeled through Rhine Valley, and it is very cold and dry in characteristic. It has a heavy speed as it is descending down, right? And it brings blizzards. That is very much important. That is the precipitation type that we'll study in precipitation also. Now let's go to this part, that is Sirocco, and where you see this is from the Sahara to the Mediterranean, and we see this is again a harmful wind. Sirocco is a Mediterranean wind that originates in the Sahara, right? And it reaches with a hurricane speed to the northern Africa and southern Europe. It rises in a warm, dry tropical area, so that is where its source is, and it moves eastward across the Mediterranean Sea that you see. And what happens? Sirocco causes this dusty storms condition. So that is why it is not considered good. It is a very harmful wind. And what happens? It sets a cool, wet weather in Europe. So when it picks moisture from Mediterranean, then it becomes a little pleasant in the European side. But in northern Africa, it is considered one of the most harmful wind for its nature. So now, when we have discussed about the various types of local winds in different parts of the world, their names, their direction, their characteristic, in the sessions to come, we are going to talk about furthermore on the climatology. So stay tuned, stay safe, and all the best wishes.